If you're over 30, 40, 50, or beyond, and you feel like building muscle is getting harder, slower, or almost impossible, I want you to stop for a second and really hear me. Because what I'm about to tell you might completely change the way you look at your body, your age, and your potential. Most people have been told that muscle loss after 30 is inevitable, that energy drops are just part of getting older, and that strength naturally declines no matter what you do. But the truth is very different. Your body is not slowing down because of age alone. It's slowing down because of the way you've been trained to think about age. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to reverse that. How to build real muscle naturally at 30, 40, 50, 60, and beyond. And why now might actually be the best time in your life to get stronger. Before we start, I want you to imagine this. Imagine waking up in the morning and feeling powerful. Imagine seeing definition in your arms, feeling firmness in your legs, noticing your shirts fit differently because your shoulders and chest are actually growing. Imagine going through your day knowing your metabolism is higher, your posture is better, your energy is stronger, and your confidence is on another level. Imagine being the strongest version of yourself, not in your 20s, but now. That's not a fantasy. That's not unrealistic. That's not too late. That's the result of understanding how the body actually works as we age, and knowing how to train, eat, sleep, and move in a way that supports muscle instead of breaking it down. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through all of that step by step in the simplest, most practical way possible. So let's start with the first thing most people get wrong. They assume that building muscle after 30 becomes difficult because of age, but the truth is, the biggest reason people lose muscle in their 30s, 40s, and 50s is not age itself, it's inactivity, it's lifestyle, it's stress, it's poor sleep, it's inconsistent nutrition, it's long hours, sitting in offices, less physical activity, and not stimulating the body the way it needs to be stimulated. Muscle doesn't disappear because your birthday number increases. Muscle disappears because the signals that tell your body to grow get weaker and weaker. And the moment you reactivate those signals through resistance training, smart nutrition, proper recovery, you can trigger muscle growth at any age. Your muscles don't care how old you are. They only care about the stimulus you give them. I've seen people in their 40s put on more muscle than they ever had in their 20s. Seen men and women in their 50s and 60s completely reconstruct their bodies, going from frail to strong, from soft to sculpted, from tired to powerful. And the reason is simple. Once you understand how to work with your body instead of fighting against it, muscle building becomes a predictable process. You don't need drugs, you don't need crazy supplements, and you definitely don't need to train like an athlete. You just need to train intelligently, feed your body correctly, and let recovery do its magic. So let's talk about training first, because this is where most people make the biggest mistakes. When you're younger, you can get away with bad technique, random workouts, long hours in the gym, or skipping rest days. But after 30, the goal is not to train harder, it's to train smarter. You want every rep to count. You want every workout to be efficient. And you want your training to stimulate your muscles without destroying your joints. If you're in your 30s, you can still push heavy, but you should prioritize form over ego. If you're in your 40s, quality becomes more important than quantity. If you're 50 or older, joint-friendly movements, controlled reps, and proper warm-ups are essential. But no matter your age, resistance training is the #1 key. Not cardio, not random exercises, not lightweight higher-rep classes. You need resistance. Whether it's dumbbells, body weight, resistance bands, machines, barbells, it all works as long as you challenge the muscle. Your muscles respond to tension. And the moment you give them progressive overload, doing a little more weight, more reps, or more intensity than before, they adapt. They grow, they strengthen. When you stop giving them that challenge, they shrink. It's really that simple. And the beauty is, you don't need long workouts. You don't need to be in the gym for 2 hours. 20 to 40 minutes of focused training is more than enough for most people. What matters is consistency and progression. I always tell people, your body doesn't grow from occasional intensity. It grows from consistent signals. Now, another thing people misunderstand is recovery. When you're young, you can push your body every day because your hormones are naturally high. Your sleep is deeper and your stress levels are lower. But as you get older, your recovery becomes just as important as your training. Muscle is not built during your workout. It's built after your workout, when you're resting, when you're sleeping, when you're fueling your body with protein and nutrients. And this is where people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s struggle the most. They try to out-train bad sleep, high stress, or poor eating. They think they're working hard, but their results are stalled. And the moment they address recovery, suddenly everything begins to change. Sleep is a big part of this. Your body releases the majority of its growth hormone while you sleep. That hormone is essential for muscle repair, fat burning, and recovery. Without proper sleep, your stress hormone cortisol increases, and that blocks muscle growth. So if you're serious about building muscle naturally, sleep is non-negotiable. You should treat it with the same importance as your workouts. And don't underestimate stress. Chronic stress literally breaks down muscle tissue. When your body thinks you're in danger through stress, pressure, overworking it prioritizes survival, not growth. So lowering stress through breathing, walking, sunlight, rest days, and proper hydration has a direct impact on your muscle growth. Now let's move to nutrition, because this is the engine behind everything. You cannot build muscle if you're undereating. You cannot grow if you're not giving your body the building blocks it needs. And the most important nutrient for muscle growth is protein. As you age, your body's ability to utilize protein decreases, so your protein needs actually increase. If you're in your 20s, you can grow with lower protein. But if you're 30, 40, 50, or older, you need more. Most people think they're eating enough protein, but when they actually track it, they realize they're barely hitting half of what they should. If you want to build muscle naturally, you need consistent, quality protein throughout the day. Eggs, chicken, fish, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, beans, lentils, tofu, beef, protein shakes, they all work. Your body doesn't care about the source as long as you're getting the amino acids you need. But protein is just one piece of the puzzle. You also need enough calories. So many people want to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. And while it's possible for beginners, it becomes harder as you get older. When you're constantly undereating, your body goes into conservation mode. It doesn't build muscle because it's trying to save energy. If you want your body to grow, you need to feed it. That doesn't mean overeating. It means fueling properly, eating balanced meals with protein, carbs for energy, and healthy fats for hormones. You want your meals to support your training, not sabotage it. And yes, carbs are your friend. Carbs give your muscles the energy they need to lift heavier and recover better. Without carbs, your workouts suffer. Your muscle growth slows and your metabolism drops. Now, let's talk about hormones because this is something that affects everyone after 30. Testosterone naturally declines. Growth hormone naturally declines. Insulin sensitivity decreases. Recovery slows down. But here's the important part. Lifestyle choices impact hormones more than age does. The right training boosts testosterone. Sleep boosts growth hormone. Proper protein intake boosts muscle protein synthesis. Lifting weights increases insulin sensitivity. Sunlight boosts mood and energy. Walking lowers cortisol. Simple habits, when applied consistently, completely change your hormonal environment. And when your hormones are optimized through natural methods, building muscle becomes much easier no matter your age. Let me share something important. One of the biggest advantages of building muscle after 30, 40, or 50 is maturity. You're more disciplined, you're more focused, you understand your body better, you don't have the ego of a 20-year-old who just wants to lift heavy without thinking. You care about form, longevity, health, and purpose, and that maturity gives you an edge. You also have more pain tolerance, more patience, and more appreciation for progress. That mindset becomes a strength. I've seen men and women in midlife build physiques that younger people envy. Muscle doesn't belong to the young. Muscle belongs to the consistent. Now I want to talk about one more thing people overlook. Daily movement. Not workouts, movement, walking, stretching, mobility, taking the stairs, staying active. When you hit your 30s and beyond, your body responds incredibly well to movement. It improves circulation, speeds recovery, enhances digestion, reduces stress, and keeps your joints healthy. Walking alone is one of the most powerful tools. You have 30 to 45 minutes of daily walking can help with fat loss, muscle recovery, and overall strength. It keeps your metabolism elevated, especially when paired with strength training. And mobility matters too. Maintaining your flexibility and joint health allows you to lift better with proper form and without pain. And when you lift without pain, you lift more consistently. And when you lift consistently, you grow. See how everything connects. Now let's talk about the gym. Some people think they need complicated workouts. They think they need advanced routines, exotic exercises, or expensive equipment. But the truth is, building muscle comes down to mastering the basics. Squats, push-ups, rows, presses, deadlifts, pull-ups, hip hinges, lunges. Core stability work. These foundational movements activate the largest muscle groups in your body. They stimulate the most growth, and they provide the most functional strength. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to be consistent with the basics. And even if you can't do these movements perfectly or with heavy weight, you can modify them. You can use bands, you can use machines, you can use dumbbells, you can use chairs at home. Your body doesn't need perfection. It needs progressive resistance. Now, I want to address something that stops a lot of people from building muscle after 30, 40, or 50. Fear. Fear of injury. Fear of judgment. Fear of starting too late. Fear of failing. But the truth is, not training is far more dangerous than training. Losing muscle accelerates aging. Losing strength increases the risk of disease. Weak muscles contribute to poor posture, back pain, joint pain, slower metabolism, low energy, poor balance, and higher risk of falls. Training is not optional if you want to age strong. It's essential. And starting now is always better than starting later. Your future self will thank you. I also want to talk about motivation, because the older you get, the less motivated you feel. That's normal. But motivation is unreliable. Motivation comes and goes. And if you wait for motivation, you'll wait forever. What you need is discipline. What you need are habits. What you need is a routine that becomes automatic. The moment your training becomes part of your lifestyle, not something you try to fit in, everything becomes easier. You don't need to rely on hype or mood or inspiration. You show up because it's who you are now. You show up because you've committed to becoming stronger. And once you start seeing your strength increasing, your muscles getting firmer, your energy improving, that progress fuels you. Progress becomes the new motivation. Okay, now let's go even deeper into how to train the right way as you age. If you're over 30, you should still push yourself, but you need to respect your recovery. If you're over 40, you should prioritize joint-friendly exercises, warm-ups, and proper form. If you're over 50, you might need slightly longer rest between sets. But your ability to build muscle is still absolutely there. What matters most is intensity. Not crazy intensity, just enough intensity to challenge the muscle. You should feel the muscle working. You should feel the pump. You should feel fatigue building toward the end of your set. That's how muscle grows. Not by counting reps, but by reaching near. And near failure is different for everyone. If you're in your 50s, your near failure might be with lighter weight and controlled reps, and that's perfectly fine. Your muscles don't know how old you are. They only know tension. Now, I want to talk about protein timing because this becomes more important with age. When you're young, you can eat all your protein at once and still grow. But when you're older, your muscles respond better when protein is spread throughout the day. You want protein in every major meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and maybe a snack or shake. Smaller, consistent doses keep your muscle protein synthesis elevated throughout the day. And that consistency leads to more growth over time. Think of it like watering a plant. If you dump a huge bucket of water once a day, it might overflow and not absorb properly. But if you water it regularly, it grows stronger. Now, let's talk about something that people completely forget about. Micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. Magnesium helps muscle recovery. Vitamin D supports testosterone. Omega-3 reduce inflammation. Potassium helps with muscle contractions. Iron supports energy production. Zinc helps with hormones. These aren't optional, they matter. And when you support your body with the right nutrients, you build muscle faster, feel better, and recover more efficiently. I also want to talk about hydration, because most people over 30 are dehydrated and don't even realize it. Hydration affects blood flow, nutrient delivery, joint health, and muscle performance. When you're dehydrated, your strength drops and your recovery slows. But when you hydrate properly, your muscles function better, your pumps improve, and your endurance increases. Water is underrated. but it's essential for muscle growth. Now let's talk about metabolism, because everyone after 30 complains about a slower metabolism. But here's the truth. Your metabolism doesn't slow because of age. It slows because you lose muscle. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. The more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism is. When you build muscle, you literally reverse metabolic slowdown. You burn more calories at rest. You build a body that works for you instead of against you. And that means not only do you get stronger, but you also stay leaner more easily. Now here's something powerful. Strength training doesn't just build muscle. It changes your brain. Studies show that lifting weights improves memory, focus, mood, confidence, and even mental resilience. People who train consistently feel sharper. They feel more in control. They feel more capable. The mind-muscle connection isn't just about lifting, it's about life. And once you get stronger physically, you become stronger mentally. Now, let's talk about what a typical week should look like for someone 30, 40, or 50 plus who wants to build muscle naturally. You don't need 7 days of workouts. You don't even need 5. 3 to 4 sessions a week is perfect for most people. You want to hit all major muscle groups: your legs, back, chest, shoulders, arms, and core. You want rest days. You want active recovery. And you want to listen to your body. Some weeks you'll feel strong. Some weeks you'll feel tired. That's normal. What matters is showing up consistently. But more than your weekly plan, what matters is your long-term vision. You're not trying to build muscle for next week or next month. You're building muscle for the next decade. You're training to be strong at 60, 70, 80. You're training to stay independent. You're training to protect your bones, your joints, your heart, and your health. Muscle is your insurance policy. And the older you get, the more valuable that insurance becomes. Now I want to talk to the people who feel like they've let themselves go or that it's too late. I want you to hear me clearly. It is never too late. Your body is always listening. Your muscles are always ready to respond. Your cells are always adapting. Whether you're 35 or 75, your body can still build strength. Your muscles can still grow. Your energy can still increase. You can still transform. The only question is whether you're willing to start. And starting doesn't mean doing everything perfectly. Starting means doing one thing better. Maybe you begin by walking daily. Maybe you lift weights twice a week. Maybe you eat protein with every meal. Maybe you sleep an extra hour. Maybe you drink more water. Maybe you stretch before bed. The small steps are the big steps. That's how transformation happens. Not in huge dramatic changes, but in small daily wins. And here's the beautiful part. Once you begin to feel the benefits: more energy, better sleep, more strength, tighter muscles, better mood, you'll want to keep going. Progress is addictive in the best way possible. And one day you'll look at yourself in the mirror and realize you're becoming the strongest version of yourself, not in spite of your age, but because of your age. Now let's get a little deeper into mindset, because this is where real long-term success comes from. The biggest shift happens when you stop seeing fitness as a chore and start seeing it as self-respect. When you start seeing training as something you get to do, not something you have to do. When you start valuing your health as your most important asset. When you start treating your body like something worth taking care of. When you show up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. Every workout is a vote for your future. Every healthy meal is a vote for your strength. Every night of good sleep is a vote for recovery. Every walk is a vote for longevity. And eventually, all those little votes turn into a completely different version of you. Now, I want to talk about supplements briefly, because people always ask, do you need supplements to build muscle after 30, 40, or 50? No, you do not. But a few supplements can make things easier. Protein powder helps you hit your daily protein target. Creatine helps with strength and muscle recovery. Omega-3s South help with inflammation. Vitamin D helps with mood and hormones. But remember this, supplements are helpers, not essentials. Food, training, sleep, and consistency matter far more. Now let's talk about injuries, because this is another reason people stop training as they age. Here's the truth. Injuries don't happen because you're old. Injuries happen because of poor form, weak stabilizer muscles, lack of mobility, and jumping into exercises too fast. The solution is simple. Warm up properly, strengthen your joints, improve your mobility, move with control, don't rush, don't ego, and if something hurts, switch the exercise. Pain is a signal. Listen to it. Protect your joints so your muscles can grow safely. Now, I want you to think about this for a moment. What would your life look like if you became stronger every year instead of weaker? What would your life look like if your muscles grew, your energy increased, your metabolism improved, your confidence rose, and your body felt better in your 40s, 50s, and 60s than it ever did before? That's not only possible, it's realistic. Your age is not a limitation. It's a story you've been told, and you're allowed to rewrite the story. Your body is capable of incredible things. You can build muscle. You can lose fat. You can get stronger. You can look better. You can feel better. You can reverse weakness. You can rebuild your metabolism. You can improve your posture. You can change your entire life by making a few simple decisions consistently. And I want to leave you with something powerful. 1 year from now, you're going to arrive somewhere. You're going to be 1 year older no matter what. The question is, will you be stronger or weaker? Will you be healthier or more tired? Will you feel confident or frustrated? Will you be proud of the choices you made or wish you had started sooner? You get to decide that right now. Start building muscle. Start getting stronger. Start taking care of your body. Start honoring your health. Start today, and I promise you, your future self is going to look back, smile, and say, "Thank you for starting."